Texas has decided to go the way of fascism. Seems like they are really, really making an effort to subvert the will of specifically large Democrat leaning or Democrat controlled counties in their state. Oh yeah, actually, I want to look at this Texas bill. I saw, since we're on the topic of Texas, let's take a look at this Texas Senate bill. I heard about this from the Majority Report. It sounded kind of crazy from a caller, so I'm kind of curious. All right, Texas Senate passes bill to seize control of elections from local authorities. On Thursday, the 13th, the Texas Senate passed Senate Bill 1933, a bill that would empower the Secretary of State to seize election authority from county officials. The bill passed on a party line vote, with all Republicans voting in favor and all Democrats voting against it, and now heads to the Republican-controlled House. If I can... Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to read the text in a second. Would allow Secretary of State... SB 1933 would allow the Secretary of State in Texas a position appointed by the governor to take over election administration and voter registration in Texas counties. Oh, that's fun. The bill would specifically authorize this, quote, administrative oversight if an election complaint is filed with the Secretary of State's office and the Secretary of State has, quote, good cause to believe that a recurring pattern of problems with election administration or voter registration exists in the country. Jesus. Well, that's not fucking vague. Fucking good cause to believe? What? How about evidence? Does evidence count? The broad categories listed as pretext for state oversight include delays in reporting election results, lovely, failure to comply with list maintenance procedures, voting equipment malfunctions, and more. If the state imposes oversight on a county, the county elections office would be required to submit any voting or policy changes to the state for approval and allow staff from the Secretary of State's office to observe election proceedings. The state would also be empowered to appoint a conservator to take over election duties and recommend that a county suspend or terminate the current election administrator. What the fuck? The governor is trying to override voters to replace lead. Oh, quote, the governor is trying to override voters to replace leaders he can't control. ACLU Texas tweeted about the legislation. Show me. People don't give a shit anymore. I work security job today. Somebody lied about that. Name being leprechaun. They literally don't give a fuck. I've been there. I've worked retail. I've been there. People are fucking savages. Texas Senate bill passed, SB 33, giving governor, just like in Houston, governors trying to override. Yeah, this is going to be challenged in the courts. Might be, but no, go back to dark mode. In recent years, Texas state officials have clashed with local elections administrators who aim to expand voting access, especially in Democratic strongholds like Harris County, home to Houston. Lovely. Our legislation moving this session would similarly wrestle control from local administrators For example, Senate Bill 1750 would eliminate the position of election administrator in counties with a population of 3.5 million or more. Why the... Wait. I'm in Tennessee, by the way. Moved here from Florida when I was 9. Oh, nice. I've heard Tennessee has issues, but, you know, what state doesn't? Secretary of State authority in order to rerun. Wait, the Senate Bill 1993 would give the Secretary of State the authority to order an election to be rerun in counties with a population of... What the fuck? Only Harris County would... Yeah. Harris County is the only county... Okay. Under certain circumstances, SB 1750 and 1993 have both advanced out of committee and await a vote on the full Senate floor. What the fuck? Within the past week, the Texas Senate has advanced other anti-voting bills. Several were approved by the Senate State Affairs Committee, while others passed the full Senate and moved on to the State House. Given Republicans control of the legislative process in Texas, all these bills have a good chance at... Jesus. Okay. Method issues. Yeah. Okay. So let's be really honest here. The Texas Republican Party is genuinely just trying to rig elections at this point. Can I see the actual language here? Oh, it's kind of funky to read. Okay. One, implementation, administration, oversight, county election. A Secretary of State's office may order administrative oversight. We're going to zoom in because my shitty vision. Okay. Oh, that's so much better. An administration election complaint is filed with the Secretary of State, which I feel like almost anybody could fucking do that. Secretary of State has good cause to believe, malfunction in voting system equipment, unfair distribution of election supplies, errors in tabulation of results, delays in reporting and discovery of voted ballots after the polls close. Wait, what? So wait. Okay. This is okay. So let's get this straight. Okay, let's understand this. This would give the appointed Secretary of State the ability to take over an election in any county due to a complaint being filed by anyone. If the Secretary of State believes that there might be a problem, which is this whole thing called subjective thinking, okay, if there is a malfunction in the voting system, which sometimes the machines fuck up and come back, like turn off and turn back on, unfair distribution of election supplies, that seems pretty, not every county, at least within one county, not every polling place is going to have the same supplies. So you're kind of always going to see, unfair really isn't the word. It's just some are smaller regions for people to send in their ballots. Errors in tabulation. Okay, that's like a real one. An error in tabulation is not good. Delays in reporting election returns. That's like what like hey, you need to tell us within this amount of time or we take over. Like if they set the time frame to be so small that they can't count all the votes and tabulate them, then their reporting obviously is going to take a bit of time, especially in the larger counties. Tabulation takes quite a while. And all of these are kind of sussy. This last one to me is kind of the cherry on top. Discovery of voted ballots after the polls close, which to me says, so a lot of times, right? A lot of times in elections, you have people who either mail in or drop off their ballots, or they've already collected a lot of them, and these are like last minute voters, right? So as they're doing all of the as basically they gather up all of the votes, there is a decent chance that they're going to put them in a box or they're going to put them in some location. They're going to count a bunch of them, polls are going to close, and they're going to keep pulling in more votes. And because that's kind of vague, and that's legal jargon right there. Discovery of voted ballots after the polls close. Meaning if you find the like box, I don't know, like last name W through Z, right? You find that box after polls have closed, after you've already counted a lot of votes. This can give you grounds to say, that's a bit sussy. Because, and the reason for this is because after 2020, there was a lot of misinformation and disinformation revolving around, I want to say it was in Arizona. There was like video footage of essentially a poll worker sitting in wherever they were sitting, and were then handed, like after they were kind of done with a big stack or done with something, they were then handed another like set of box of votes basically. And that was characterized as nefarious, as malicious, as suspect or whatever. When what was actually happened is they found another box of votes that they hadn't counted for yet and were processing those. But because there were people who were ready to read that in the most malicious and conspiratorial fashion, they took it all the way, as far as they could, all the way to a recount in Arizona, which didn't get them anything. When they did the recounts, when they presented any of their evidence, it all came back that, yeah, all of this was above board. Nothing weird here happened. So it's just, failure to conduct maintenance, let's see, maintenance on the list of registered voters is required under this code. Notice of implementation, administration, oversight. If the Secretary of State determines administrative oversight is necessary, which basically that's the only reason why this exists, Secretary shall provide written notice to the county judge and the county election official with the authority over election administration or voter registration in the county of the decision by the Secretary to require administrative oversight of the election. Okay. The designated period during which the oversight will take place. The administrative oversight authority under this subcharter must continue until at least December 31st of the first even numbered year following the... What? Wait. No fucking chance. Wait a minute. Authority, let's see, judge. The designated period during which... No fucking way. The administrative oversight authority under the subchapter must continue until at least December 31st of the first even numbered year following the year. So at bare minimum 2 years in which the Secretary provides notice under... What the fuck, dude? Administrative oversight activities. The authority of the administrative oversight over a county granted to the Secretary of State under the subcharter must require the approval and review of any policy procedures adopted by the county election office subject to the oversight. So basically, they don't get to do anything unless this Secretary of State says so. Authorize all appropriate personnel in the Secretary's Office of State's office to conduct in-person observation in county election offices activities, including any activities related to the voter registration, election preparation, early voting. Jesus. County election office subject to the administrative. Yeah. Let's see. Quarter. Okay. Yeah. This is fucking wild. Quarterly report. Too much power to Secretary. Discretion. Outlining is what I'm gathering. Well, the problem is, so a big problem with this also, Talfry, keep in mind, is they also have, what other bills were those? Ah, damn, I don't think I have the article. Oh, wait. Oh, I closed the article. There were 2 other bills that essentially negate, I'm pretty sure I have it in my history. Here, we'll just do this. Where is it? What was that? Was that... Was it this one? Am I nuts? Was that not Senate bill? Am I crazy? Is it in this article? It probably is. Oh, yeah, I'm stupid. Okay, yeah. 1750, eliminate positions of elected administrator in counties with a population of 3.5 million or more, to which Harris County, home to Houston and a Democrat-led city, is the only state that qualifies for that. So essentially, they wrote a law. They wrote a fucking, like into a bill that this county does not get a election administrator, which means it will most likely get kicked up to the Secretary of State as it is. And then, what is this? Let's see, would give the Secretary of State authority to order an election rerun in that exact same county. They literally only wrote these with numbers specifically that would only count for these Democrat-controlled cities. In Texas, a very large state, very populous state, but one that has very, like, if you've ever been to Texas, it's like there's like big bubbles of population, and then the rest is very dispersed. So it's like Houston, Austin, San Antonio. It's these big cities, and then everything else is super spread out, right? So because the counties are going to encompass kind of those whole cities, they literally wrote fucking bills in. They literally wrote fucking bills to take over the elections in just Houston, and it's the only one that's going to apply to this. And to get rid of their election administrator. And then they have this. Like this isn't necessary. That's also the problem, is it's not necessary. There has never been evidence that we've ever seen in this country that we have a significant problem with like voting. Our voting system. Say what you want about a lot of things in the United States. I got a lot of problems. Our elections are actually pretty well run, considering, the size of our country. And it's because they're run per county. Each county only has to worry about their little county, so they're able to organize and do all the rest of this stuff you know, on a much smaller scale. It's a lot easier for even some big counties to run their elections and have absolutely no problem. But and again, the problem is the way this is written is the Secretary of State has good cause to believe that a recurring pattern of problems with election administration or voting registration exists. Not that they have to have evidence, just that they have good cause to believe it. And people can believe anything. People believe, I don't know. People believe fucking aliens walk among us. People believe Bigfoot is walking around somewhere in the Rockies, I think. People believe a lot of things and can have good cause to believe in anything. A lot of people have good cause to believe that that lizard people run the world economy and are trying to set up the new world order. Like, these are all, anybody can believe anything. But the fact that there's no benchmark for like proof to prove any of this shit is what's dangerous about it. Let's see, the authority, like, you can just use conspiracy theories. You could easily justify a takeover of a county just based on like Facebook conspiracy theories. And again, since this is up to a Secretary of State who's appointed by a governor who's part of a political party, it's pretty obvious that this will never get implemented in a red county. It just never will. They'll never find good cause to implement any of this to a red county. They will only ever do it for blue counties. That's the, you know, and this is the power that you give them. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, thank you. Flat Earth is such a better example. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Oversight activities, the authority. Where did I? Oh, right. God, yeah. And then that's fucking crazy. Under the subcharter must continue until after December 31st of the first even numbered year following the year in which the secretary provides notice under subsection A. Like, that's fucking wild. Because essentially, if this happened in 2024, the next, December 31st on the first even year following would be 2024. Meaning at max, this could be a full 2-year cycle that your elections just get seized by the Secretary of State. If it's on an odd year, I guess that's not, that's, you only have a year, but even then, how many elections are you going to have in a year? If you live in Houston, is your vote going to count in Houston? The first year, the second year, neither of them? Do you just get 2 years with completely being disenfranchised? One of the largest population hubs in the state of Texas? Like, think that's going to swing some votes? Why gerrymander when you can just force them to rerun or force them to into like ridiculous like oversight measures? Like, anyway, shit's just fucking wild. Glad I don't live in Texas. Authorize all appropriate personnel in the set. Yeah, we did that. County elections office subject to administrative oversight shall provide sufficient access to the appropriate personnel in the Secretary of State. Yeah, this is, you have to give us over your stuff. Quarterly report on oversight activities once each quarter during the period designated for the Secretary of State. Oversight under section State shall submit a report regarding the activities of the administrative oversight personnel to the county election officials with authority over election administration or voter registration in the county, the county judge, the county attorney. This is most likely going to get challenged in the courts, but still, I mean, depending on which courts they go to, even if this got bumped up to the Supreme Court, I don't find it to be unrealistic that the Supreme Court would either, I feel like they would probably just not rule on it. They would just kind of be like, no, we're not even going to hear this, or kick it back to like some other court. Secretary of State shall deliver a report required by subsection person county to the county election commission termination or extension of oversight at the conclusion of the period designated by the Secretary of State for administrative oversight under section da 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 da. The Secretary of State shall issue a report to the county commissioners court regarding any remediation actions taken, Secretary's recommendations. If the Secretary of State determines that additional oversight of the county is necessary, the report submitted must include a detailed plan. If the Secretary of State determines that no additional, Secretary shall issue an order terminating. So they can literally just pick. They can just, as long as they say, like, yeah, they can just keep going then. Appointment of conservator. The Secretary of State shall appoint a conservator to oversee elections in the county if that conclusion of the period is designated by the Secretary of Oversight under. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Do we all remember what happened to Brittany? Literally, the Secretary of State can just appoint a conservator to watch over that county from if he decides he wants to move on to another county. This is fucking wild. Recurring pattern of problems with election administration or voter registration described under have not been properly remediated and continue to impede an extension of administrative oversight under. If the county of which the conservator is appointed under has an appointed elections administrator under 3132, Secretary of State may provide a written recommendation to the county election commission for the suspension or termination. Wait, if the county for which a conservator is appointed under subsection A has an appointed elections administrator under section 31032, the Secretary of State may provide a written recommendation to the county election commission for the suspension or termination of the elections administrator. Notwithstanding any other provisions of the subchapter, the Secretary of State may immediately appoint a conservator to oversee elections in a county, regardless of whether administrative oversight of the county has been previously conducted. So we can just keep doing this then. Secretary has good cause. What the fuck? A recurring pattern of the problems with elections. Okay, if the problem keeps going, the immediate appointment of a conservator is necessary to properly remediate the problem. If a conservator is wait. A recurring pattern of problems with the election administration or vote registration, as described under section 31017 2, exists and substantially impedes the free exercise of citizens' voting rights within the preceding 2 years, and the immediate appointment of conservator necessary if a conservator is immediately appointed under subsection C. The Secretary of State may simultaneously authorize the administrative oversight of the county to be conducted in the manner provided by this. Oh my Jesus. A conservator appointed under this section serves until the first uniform election date after the Secretary of State determines that the recurring pattern of problems with the election as described under what? Until the first uniform. Okay, so assuming, let's be generous here. They take over in an odd number year. They then decide that after 1 year of overseeing an election in, we'll just say Houston, because it seems like that's what their big target is. The Secretary of State takes over oversight of the elections in Houston, decides that that the elections are fixed now, but puts a conservator in place basically to watch over it while he isn't still overseeing the elections, and that person sticks around until the next election after the Secretary of State finally decides, okay, we're finally done. Only once he's like, all right, we dicked around for a year, I think we might be done. You still have to wait till another election cycle to, I don't even know what the fuck uniform election date is. I don't know what that is. What is uniform election date? This is fucking wild. There's no way. Fuck me. Election. Nope. Electric field. Nope. Modifications to uniform election code. What the fuck? Huh? This is Colorado. I don't need Colorado. Texas? Texas? Important okay. I don't know what uniform means, and I don't know what that's in there for. Secretary of State may adopt rules necessary to implement the administration oversight. This is oh my God, public release of preliminary findings of audit. If the Secretary of State completes the audit of a county under subsection B1 before the end of the 2-year period, the Secretary may randomly select another county with a total population of less than 300,000 to be audited. That's nice. If no later than July 31st of the first odd-numbered year following the commencement of the audit under the section, the audit finding demonstrate the Secretary of the State that a recurring pattern of problems with the described under subsection exists in an audited county and the problems impede the free exercise, shall publicly release the preliminary findings of the audit, recommend the county of administration oversight in a subchapter, may conduct an audit in the elections held in the county, Secretary of State shall adopt rules as necessary. Takes effect September 1st next year. Or no, this year. I wonder why. Jesus. Yeah, do that. Take a break. Nicotine's not good for you. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's recap here. Texas has, how far is this into? Yeah. Hit me with a summary. How far? Well, track. Here we go. What? Oh, I need a thing for that. Where are we at? Roll calls. What's the last thing that happened? Referred to elections. Read first time. Received from the Senate. Jesus Christ. Okay. So let's recap here. Texas has decided to go the way of fascism. Seems like they are really, really making an effort to subvert the will of specifically large Democrat leaning or Democrat controlled counties in their state. They are passing, not only have they introduced bills that specifically target one of the most populous counties in the state. They are now looking to pass a bill that would give broad control of elections in counties over to the appointed Secretary of State by the Governor Greg Abbott. So, what can we do about this? Well, besides people protesting, besides people getting out there and voting and really, really, I think making a stink about this in the state, this will most likely pass. It might get challenged in the courts. I don't know what the viability is in terms of getting a correct decision. But, I think I said it earlier. If this goes up to the Supreme Court, I'm not super confident that they wouldn't give notes to sand this down a bit, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they were to let it pass. This is all done under the guise of election, ensuring our elections, to which no Republican in any state has been able to demonstrate that we have a significant voting problem here in the United States. We do a lot of things poorly: healthcare, college education, wages, many things. Our elections are not one of them. But for Republicans, elections are where they lose power. Because you see, the Republican Party is a minoritarian party. They simply are. And unfortunately, it appears that they have fully bought in. Not that I don't think that they didn't before, but there was I think in times before, there used to be, especially when I was growing up, there used to be this, I think, acceptance that the Republican Party and conservatism in general was a minoritarian campaign, basically. That there weren't going to be these large Reagan style wins anymore. And I think a lot of Republican politicians had kind of settled into that. Mitch McConnell kind of has settled into it. Mitt Romney has settled into it. A lot of the figureheads of the Republican Party have settled into being obstructionists, but overall, not really pushing for any change deeper than tax cuts for the rich. But with the ascension of Donald Trump, with the ascension of the populist wing of the Republican Party, to which I don't think it's the populist wing at this point. I think it's fair to say that it has gone from a populist wing to a fascist wing. But because of that, we are seeing in a lot of states a lot of anti-trans bills, a lot of anti-LGBT bills. We are also seeing in Texas. It seems like they are the battleground, the test ground for election rigging. We already have deep gerrymandering built into our election system. That already is already there and already favors the Republican Party along with the Electoral College, right? But now they are looking to, even in the cities that reside in their states that are red, they are now looking to strip those cities of an ability to run their elections in fair ways. They are looking to take over those elections, and they will say that it's for security. They'll say that it's for voting integrity, election integrity, all this shit. But they'll never be able to demonstrate it. And by the end of the 2 years, whenever they do this to some blue county, at the end of 2 years, they'll present single digits, maybe even just double digits of voter fraud, of voter malfeasance. And for that, they will have suppressed the vote of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions. So, and I have nothing, I don't know what to say other than, is this democracy? Does this sound, for anybody out there who's, small government, a kind of small government guy or gal, I suppose, does this sound like small d democracy? Does this sound like freedom? The thing that they tell, like at the end of all YouTube videos where they tell you to like click on one of these like things to watch more videos. Yeah, I've been meaning to film one of those. So that's what I was doing. I was just setting it up to film one.